Okay, so check this out, you guys. While I was doing my It Chapter 2 movie review, I noticed something a little peculiar. And I found out that my It Chapter 2 movie review happens to have been my 106th video. And I passed my 100th celebration video that I was wanting to do for quite a long time, and I missed it. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take on this opportunity to go ahead and do that. So congratulations to me, and congratulations to all you viewers out there who took in the time of their day of watching my videos. It's such a huge inspiration. And so let's go ahead and do this. Happy 100th episode. Man, 100 episodes. Wow, I've come a very long way, and there's still so much more to come. There's so many movies out there to talk about, past, present, and future. There's just, you can never get enough. I mean, I love movies, and I remember when I first started, back in March of 2017. Even though those movies I don't take into an account, because I first started off with Facebook Live, and I wanted to transfer that going over to YouTube. But unfortunately, I'm not a big techie guy, so I try to learn bits and pieces of some things in order for me to understand and get into the habit of knowing what I should do within my videos. But I learned very little each and every video, and hopefully there's still much more to learn to improve my videos. But unfortunately, I remember the first one I started was, I believe it was Logan, back in March 2017. I know there was Power Rangers that came out that same time, and Beauty and the Beast. I remember I did a Facebook Live video on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 when that hit theaters in May, and I know that it was at that same month in May when I transferred it over to YouTube, which was my first video. That was Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, as a tribute to the theatrical release of Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man Tell No Tales, which was my second video. And then we went on from there. Let me tell you, my entire life has been all about movies, and I love to watch other movie critics. I love to watch audiences' reactions. I love every single experience that you can absorb while watching a film, especially in the movie theaters. And I have a really cool friend who happens to live in the same town as I am. I'm not going to mention what town, but he's a really great movie critic. We met a while back, several years ago. We do help each other out in some of our videos here and there. Great guy, Mr. Randy Little. If you're watching this, you are a huge inspiration to me. You do really awesome with your videos, and I try to do as much as I can to watch every single one of them, because you're awesome, man. And but like I said, movies are fantastic. I've gotten several questions that were emailed to me within my time of doing my movie critic videos ever since the beginning till now. So there have been quite a few, and I selected 5 of them to do for this video. But I just wanted to go ahead and throw out a little bit of an origin story as to how all of this came to where it is to be today. So it's a long story, but I'm not gonna bore you with that. Long story short, you guys know this. I love movies, and you're gonna find out why.
What is your favorite movie?
Oh boy, I get asked this question a lot. What my favorite movie is. To be honest with you, I don't have one single solo movie alone for me to entitle it with. I don't have just one favorite movie. I have a whole bunch of them. I love a whole bunch of movies. It's really hard and complicated for me to just pick one. I know that for my birthday a couple of years ago, I did my top 10 favorite movies of all time. But there's just so many more of them that it's hard to fit in and say, hey, you know what? That's my number one. But apparently, it's just very much more just a list of movies, not a similar countdown to anything in particular. Like several movies that I'm very fond of that I would continuously watch over and over again is movies like Meet Joe Black. Love Meet Joe Black. Great movie. Bicentennial Man, one of my favorite Robin Williams films. The Time Machine, the reboot back in 2001. Great movie. I love a lot of sci-fi, including time travel. Love Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is an awesome actor. One of my most favorites. As a matter of fact, my number one. And one of my three of my favorites of him that I really do admire a lot is Jerry Maguire, Vanilla Sky, Oblivion, and I know I said three, but one more, and The Last Samurai. Great movies. I would watch those movies over and over again. Great set of films. He has a lot more great movies, but those would be my top favorites. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. My favorite Pirates movie. I love the film. A lot of people are not very fond of it, but I really do admire it a lot. The Dark Knight Rises, again, not a lot of people are fond of that. Everybody is always a big fan of The Dark Knight because of Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker. But for me, I'm more of a Bane guy. I love Bane. And Tom Hardy being Bane and Batman getting his ass kicked and his back broken, yeah, I like that a lot better. The Prince of Egypt. I'm a huge Christian. I go to church. I read the Bible. I pray, this, and that. My favorite book out of the Bible is Exodus, and that's what's very much related towards, is the story of Moses. And, I love the Ten Commandments, but I really do admire the Prince of Egypt very, very much. It is away from the true aspects of what is imprinted onto the Exodus story, but I really do love the high quality that is included with the film. Oh yes, and of course I cannot forget about this. I love Star Wars. I love so many different types of trilogies, but none of them ever beats The Lord of the Rings. I love the Lord of the Rings trilogy. You would consider them as three movies, but unfortunately it's three movies put into one. It's one movie, and I'm very fond of that trilogy. I mean, bizarre trilogy. It's a great set of films. I can never get enough of it. Fantastic.
Are you single?
Okay, this one's a little personal, but I want to go ahead and throw it out there just to, get people to understand where I'm coming from. Is that, yes, I love movies, but there's no movie in the world that can beat the very love that I have for my wife. So, sorry ladies, I am not single. I just recently got married this past May of this year, and it was a great wedding, great party, a lot of dancing, a lot of smiles and pictures. It was a phenomenal experience, and I am just so happily married and excited for what's to come within my future with my beloved, amazing, beautiful wife. So yeah, I'm not single. I am happily married, and we'll still be married for quite some time.
What is your earliest memory of movies?
Okay, so we're getting back into, the very aspects of what this video is, movie related. So I do have several memories based off of what I remember back in the day when I was a kid. I can't remember my very first movie to watch in the movie theater, but if I were to happen to remember the ones that I could have a distinct memory of watching the theaters when I was a child, one of my very first experiences, my first early memories would be, you know, I remember The Lion King. I remember watching The Lion King in theaters. I remember watching Hocus Pocus. I even remember Jurassic Park. I remember I was terrified of that movie. Mortal Kombat. I remember Mortal Kombat and Desperado. You know, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Desperado. You know, great movie, great set of movies. I mean, I remember the days when I went to the movie theaters to experience these great films, and having to leaving the theater fully satisfied by what I just experienced. So, are they my favorite movies of all time? No, but they are my earliest memories that I can think of, based off of the question that's given to me. You know, there's so many different other type of movies that out there that I got to experience, not only in theaters, but, you know, like on VHS. I remember back in the day, man, I miss VHS. VHS was just so simple, just so plain, not so complicated, as like how digital movies are, or DVDs or Blu-rays. VHS, I remember, you know, the very first several movies that I got to watch was The Terminator, back in 1984, and the first Batman that's directed by Tim Burton with Michael Keaton in it, Jack Nicholson, Kim Basinger, back in 1989. So those are the ones that I remember the very earliest as my first ever VHS to own. And my DVDs that I remember were The Matrix and The Scorpion King. I remember about those two with my very first DVD player. It was an Apex. I don't know if you guys remember Apex, but Apex was my first DVD player. It broke within the first several days. It's a very cheap product. Never want to own an Apex again. But it was a very fun experience, just getting to visualize what DVDs were capable of, in difference between what VHSs were to what DVDs are. Blu-rays, you know, wasn't really a big fan of getting myself involved with Blu-rays, since Blu-rays were a little similar to what DVDs were. So I had a huge DVD collection, and it was gonna be such a shame that all those DVDs that you worked so hard for, you were gonna have to replace them with with a Blu-ray product. So the first one that I remember the most was The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight I got was my first Blu-ray. After that, I'm not really too sure as to what I got after that. I think I got a whole bunch of Marvel movies, but definitely for sure I remember The Dark Knight was my first Blu-ray ever.
What was your first job?
Okay, so we're going a little personal here again. It's not that personal than having to asking me if I'm single or not, but my first job. Okay, long story short, like I said, long story short. This was summer of after freshman year, going to sophomore year, and I was 16 years old. My first job was a cook at a McDonald's. Which was long time ago, and I still remember that to this day. It was only within the summertime. I didn't expect myself to go any more further than that. It's because of that job as to how I started purchasing my own DVDs. Like I said earlier, my Apex DVD player. But yeah, that was my first job, and it was only for a summer. June, July, August. I started failing some classes because I took a lot of time into work, so school was more important, so of course, obviously, and so I decided to choose school and quit my job. So good thing too, because I got to graduate, I got to go to college for several years, and great time, great choices. Little thing to throw out there for your kids: stay in school.
What got you interested into making movies your favorite thing to do?
Alright, so this is an interesting question. What got me interested in movies? Alright, so this is kind of going to be a personal answer to that question because when I was a child, I was very antisocial. The child that you would meet, the younger me, would not be capable of doing what I am today by recording myself talking in front of a camera. I'm a very social person today. Don't get me wrong. I talk to people like crazy. The way that you listen to my voice right now is the same similarities as to how I talk to people. And some people would ask me, you know, is that really the way you talk to people, or is that just like a fake thing that you're playing a game with people? You know, like, is this how you really act, or is it just, you know, a scam? Unfortunately, no. The way you see me right now in this video is the same person you're gonna see out there in the world. So I'm very grateful for the person that I am. I'm very proud. I'm very happy with who I am today. But getting back to the question here, giving you that answer is yes. When I was a kid, I was very antisocial, and I was at home a lot. You know, I went to school, yes, and I didn't have that many friends, so I was at home a lot. My mom, she was a single mother. She worked 24/7, almost 24/7. She was practically gone the entire time because she tried to you know, support her son. So, and which cases I'm very grateful for. I love you, Mom, if you're watching this. And I just, you know, I'm very grateful for my mother because without her I wouldn't have had this whole collection of movies on VHS at the time. I had bookshelves full of movies, and I remember I had some family members as well who had a collection of movies, and all I can think about is their collection is very interesting, and I wish I had that same interesting collection. So that's where it started snapping at me, thinking that, you know, I need to start making my movies much more interesting. You know, I really want to uplift everything that I got, you know. And so I remember I pop in. One of my earliest remembrances to popping in a movie in the VCR was The Mummy back in 1999, and I remember watching that movie a lot. You know, I remember watching a lot of Titanic, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I watched a whole lot of movies on VHS because, like I said, I was very antisocial, so I took in that time instead of going out into the world, which I should have done. Instead, I was inside watching movies on the TV, and I remembered, like, you know, like when you're a loner, when you don't really have anybody to talk to. I did not have an imaginary friend. But, you know, I did talk to myself a lot, you know, within my mind. You know, when I'm watching a movie, I talk to myself in my mind, just like how I'm talking to you guys right now in front of the camera. And I remember those moments and on how deeply interested I was into wanting to talk about this and getting to wonder what's going to happen next. You know, how is this movie going to end? How is this movie going to be great? How is this going to get me so entertained and satisfied? So that's pretty much what happened. You know, like I said, it's still a long story, but yeah, I try to shorten it down enough to where it comes to a complete understanding, knowing that from where I came from. All right, so happy 100th episode celebration, you guys. I just want to give my hugest thanks to all of you wonderful, awesome viewers who took in the time of their day to watching at least one of my videos, because I love to talk about movies, but more importantly, I love to talk about them with you guys. And none of this would have been possible without you guys. I mean, there's just no further words to explain how grateful I am for all of those wonderful viewers and fans who participated in having to liking and subscribing and sharing my videos. I really do appreciate it. You guys are so awesome. you know, and it doesn't have to end there. There is so much more to go. You can see so many much more videos if you could just check me out on YouTube and on Facebook at Awesome Joe Movie Reviews. Don't forget to click on the like and subscribe button, you guys. It's highly appreciative of you guys to do that. Because like I said, once more again, I love to talk about movies, but more importantly, I love to talk about them with you. And did you guys like the new intro? I worked really hard on it. I know some people like the older intro, but you know, change is good. It took me a long time to accept that, but change is good. And I took a lot of hard work into putting that new intro together, so I hope that you guys enjoy it. What did you guys think? Leave a comment in the section at the bottom if you'd like, in the comment section. If you have any other further questions, comments, complaints, or concerns, go ahead and do that, and I will do my very best to reply. But other than that, you guys, I'm Awesome Joe. Keep on living the dream, and as always, stay awesome. Thanks, you guys, once more again. Happy 100th episode celebration. I cannot wait to do another 100 episodes with you guys, and I will see you on the next video.